Hi guys. I'm going live because uh, this is not a stupid thing to go live for. Unlike some of the things I've done live that I felt. Tomorrow is Jimi Hendrix's birthday, and I had a commenter comment. Why don't I do a 1.5 hour tribute to Jimi Hendrix? And first of all, if I say no to that, it sounds like I'm afraid to. And second of all, if I say no to that, it sounds like I don't care about Jimi Hendrix. So neither one of those two I want to do. So I decided to do it. Thank you for the suggestion. I was going to stand up during all this, but an hour and a half standing up would have been like, I don't want effort to go into how I stand. I want effort to go into the thought of the music. So I sat down for ease. First, I want to say he would have been 81 years old. I just want to talk about that number. I like the number 81 because it's 3 to the 4th power. And 1 divided by 81, the reciprocal of 81, is 0.012345679012345679 012345679 forever. Very interesting. All the digits between 0 and 9 except 8 in order, repeated over and over again forever. That's what 1 divided by 81 is. So interesting number. The question is, why is 8 not in there? But I don't know. Somebody knows. I don't. Okay. Jimi Hendrix. I got like a pause of saying that name. The paradox of this is that on the one hand, Jimi Hendrix should be easy to do because you should know him because he's so important, and it is hard to do because you have to do him justice. So there's a push and pull there that I'm working on. I want to do some playing, but not just playing. I want to do talking, but not just talking. And I want to make this spontaneous, like I always do. I don't plan things. I would probably be a terrible president of the United States because I wouldn't read the script. I would just say whatever I feel, whatever. Jimi Hendrix mesmerized me long before I even thought of playing guitar. I was 7 years old, and therefore it must have been like 1973 or something. And Jimi Hendrix was playing a concert on when I was at my grandpa's Wiseman's house on his TV. We actually had TV back then, and I just watched it, and I was in like dazed for like 3 days. Dazed for 3 days. I mean, I just what was that? How did he do that? What were those sounds? How can one person even do that? How can anybody do that? It's like it just mesmerized me, and I hadn't even thought of playing guitar. In fact, if anything, I might have been discouraged. Like, why should I? Kind of like the reason I didn't learn to fight because my dad was a 6'3" Navy SEAL. Why should I? But I ended up playing anyway. But Jimi Hendrix got me way back when I was a kid. And then in high school, if you were in GATE, Gifted and Talented Education, you got to take these mini courses on Fridays and get out of regular class, and some of them were fun. In fact, that was the point. One class was called The Poetry of Rock. One class was called The Poetry of the Doors, or Jim Morrison, but there was one class, The Poetry of Rock. But both those classes were taught by an old hippie teacher named Christensen. And again, I was captivated in high school by especially the song Third Stone from the Sun. That song was like the anthem of the world to me. I mean, that's the best way I could put it. I talked to Christensen about this, and I said, man, this song is like as if I don't know who would write that though. As if maybe an alien came to visit us and wrote a song for Earth, or maybe vice versa. Maybe Earth decided to get a council together and write a song for the aliens to hear. That on that level is like that. Third Stone from the Sun was like the anthem of the world. Like if we had to send a tape to Sirius X, Sirius B or whatever, what would we play? Well, here's the anthem of Earth. Third Stone from the Sun, Jimi Hendrix. There you go. It really moved me, that song. To this day, it's my favorite song. To this day, I never was able to understand it until I did an edible. I'll be honest, the only one I've ever done. about 6 years ago, and it lifted my consciousness so that maybe I somehow was able to analyze it, and I figured out what he was doing. And if I hadn't had that edible, I probably wouldn't have done that, and I might still not understand it. But there's that. So I want to do some playing now because I talked. Talking is great. I mean, because I have to explain myself too. What should I start with? Let me think. Which way do I want to go with this? I want to start simple. Sometimes I want to start simple. Wild Thing. He did Wild Thing at the Monterey Festival in 1967 when he burned his guitar. I like that. Time again. Oh shucks, you moved me. It's been a while since I played it. that song. I just happened to play it right there, but there are other things I could have done, but I threw that out there already, didn't I? It's my favorite all-time song, I think. Um, I'm doing something with it. What I'm gonna do here. One more, and then I'll talk some more. I stopped playing this. I'm sorry. Let me think. Am I doing a song or what? Let me think, because I love all these songs. I'm just playing whatever comes. Here's another one I like. Very far away. Gotta have the name in there. Headlights, identified. Not a thing. No, it's good. Good, good vibe. I don't care. Got my own damn and I ain't gonna stop. I don't mind. I don't mind. Father, hippies, gonna father him. I don't care. I don't care. Don't care anyway. I'm my own world. They ain't gonna touch me. Song. If 6 was 9. It's beautiful to me. You know, I don't know if I'm probably not talking much because I could talk all day, and then I don't even know what to say because he's like the greatest rock guitarist that ever lived. He's like the Mozart of guitar. Even Malmsteen, another great guitarist, of course, basically called him the Jesus of guitar, if you can believe that. And he said he even himself couldn't say enough good things about Jimi Hendrix, and he just couldn't even talk to us like I can't. I'm not saying I'm going to be a Malmsteen, but what else can you say? He's the Jesus of guitar. You can't say enough good things about him. I know one thing. I almost didn't think of this. I don't know why I even thought of it. And I went ahead and played this video in reverse so that because it looks like I'm left-handed, and because of the filming this, I figured that'd be okay because he was left-handed. I just thought I'd leave that in there. Even though I could have done it more correctly and looked right-handed, but it looks like I'm left-handed the way this video is, so that I thought that was cool to do it this way. I was listening to, not trying to cop him or anything, but I was listening to the Monterey American Landing 1967 over and over again. I do that in videos. I just watched one video for like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, 9 times, and then I put another video in. Like I don't just watch it once and let's go to the next thing. I just meditate on it and get it all for its worth first. And lately I've been doing Monterey Festival in '67, not even realizing that, not even thinking I'm going to learn him for this video that it's his birthday. I just wasn't even in my head. I just happened to be listening to this one, and I was listening to him. And you get so mesmerized by the fact that it's Jimi Hendrix that you just forget to listen to what is he actually playing and what is he doing, and I try to do that. And I was listening, and it's a lot of right hand stuff. Left hand's great too, though. He knows his chords and he knows his lead. He can play melodies, but a lot of his chops were rhythm with his right hand. I might have to say it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to do some of that of my own because I can't really say I copied that. But let me just try a little of my own. chord or simple chord, simple things everybody else knows. But I mean, maybe not. But the way he did it with his right hand just kept the music. He mesmerized people, me included. I want to talk about the Hendrix chord. It's basically a minor seventh and a dominant seventh combined, but because you can't call it a minor seventh major dominant seventh, they call it a dominant seventh sharp nine. Very important chord. Look it up. It's there. Yeah, I call it the Hendrix chord. Something more obscure that I actually thought of that might be unique to that I might have discovered about him, but it's all there. Anybody can find it. I like the way he used an open string, often the G, but it could be any of the six, and then played dissonant intervals above the 12th fret. And I've analyzed how he picked those notes, and I have a little formula, I think. He used a lot of the open G, and then the 13th fret, which would be an A flat. And often he'd do a D flat, which would be the 18th fret. And sometimes he'd do an F, which would be the 22nd fret. And together, those notes, if you play... those actually make up a D flat, a second version of a D flat major triad. And that is, interestingly enough, the D flat major triad is a tritone away from a G major triad, which would be the triad based on the open string of the lick. So basically, you're playing an open note, and then you're playing the notes of a triad that is a diminished fifth or tritone away from that original open note, and playing the notes of that, and that's where the dissonance comes from, because a triad that's a tritone or diminished fifth away from the original root is a very dissonant sound. It's like the G's here, and then a D flat major triad would be this. Wait, let's see. Wait. To a G triad. It's very dissonant together when you can superimpose the two. Basically brilliant harmony-wise, I think, because tie the two together. I like that way he picked those notes. He chose the notes that most dissonant above the 12th fret to play on a tremolo or where that's called when you trill with the open string. And just play that in the song. He did a lot of tritone stuff for effect too. A siren type sound or just a dissonant thing. Tritone, but then slide it up or down in chromatic steps. If you think of it as a blues thing, because often, seventh chords, dominant seventh chords in blues licks all have a diminished fifth in them, or tritone in them. And then just take the idea of those tritones in the blues progression. You can also do like a siren effect. Very cool. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Yeah, I really love Jimi Hendrix. I'll talk on that for a minute here. Eric Clapton was called God, and it was said that Jimi Hendrix basically committed deicide because he kind of killed, he topped God. I don't know, being Eric Clapton, but Eric Clapton basically said it could have been anybody, but it had to be him. And really that sums it up. That's one good way of putting the whole thing. It could have been anybody, but it had to be him. It could have been any Joe Bluck that became the next great thing or the greatest, but it had to be Jimi Hendrix or it would have been the same. That's what Eric Clapton said. So I like that. I like that he said that. That's a very, very cool way of putting it. What else about Jimi Hendrix? It's like I'm just winging this, of course. Where do I go with this? Let's see, how am I doing on time? I wonder how long it's been. The commenter wanted me to do an hour and a half, and I'm coming on. Okay, I have not done an hour and a half yet. I could do the Star Spangled Banner, but I could do that. I want to do that. It's just that let me talk. I'm not sure I'm ready to do that right now. Let me think. Let's see. Well, I'm talking. I like that chord that he played in the song I just did, Spanish Castle Magic. It's very interesting. I've only heard Jimmie do that chord and myself do it because he made it up first. And otherwise I've never heard that chord. In the melody in 69, he goes. That's really it's a haunting chord to me. It goes down a whole step, down a half step, down a half step. I don't know what to say about that chord. One chord can say so much. You don't even have to talk. I can analyze it, and that's great. And it is analyzable. It's very interesting, actually. But that'd be my thought. I mean, you might analyze it different. I think my analysis is junk. Basically, let's see what I can do with the analysis of that. Let me just see what I can do with it. Do it justice, though. All right, let's do the analysis of it. I mean, I'm good at that, I guess. Start with an E minor pentatonic scale, which could be all the open strings. All the open strings make an E minor pentatonic scale, because that's what they make, believe it or not. Now, play that at the fifth position. You have this. You would have the same thing. You would have that is the fourth mode, or that is a E minor pentatonic, but starting on A. It takes out the note on the fifth string. It takes out that D there, and then just plays all the other notes. So it's an E minor pentatonic / A, because it's over A, but it's an E minor pentatonic chord lick. With A as the bass note. It does the same thing a whole step down, which would be a D as in dog, minor pentatonic with G as in goat in the bass. D minor pentatonic / G. Then he goes down half step to F, to what would be C sharp minor pentatonic / F sharp. So it's a C sharp minor pentatonic scale with F sharp in the bass. That's just an F major triad, an E major triad. The reason I started the first lick, I mentioned it being an E minor pentatonic because the whole song is in the key of E. So it makes sense to make an E minor pentatonic scale. But don't just strum it open like that. Like he does do that in Third Song from the Sun, which is brilliant also. But he does it off in the position on the 5th fret, and then it leaves the bass leaves the bass note to be the root of the chord, because that's that is the note that's on the fifth fret, of the guitar, and then leaves out the note on the fifth string. And then, it's just an E minor pentatonic with A in the bass. So E minor pentatonic slash A, D minor pentatonic slash G, sharp minor pentatonic slash F sharp, F major, E major. Now that analysis is my analysis. That's how I look at that. I mean, someone could say that's a dominant ninth, but that doesn't say enough. It's not specific enough, because that would make you could play all dominant ninth all kinds of ways, and it would not even come close to being that weak like that chord sounds to me. How did he do that stuff? How did he? Amazing to me. And let me just take it further. I'm gonna do my own chord. I can, if I do an E minor pentatonic but do it on the 7th fret, it would be an E minor pentatonic slash B instead of A. That would sound. You want to hear what that sounds like? That would sound like this. See, I've never played this. Let's see if it sounds good. That's an E minor pentatonic scale with B at the bass. B in the bass. Well, you call it E minor pentatonic slash B. So let's play the two. Let's play the two together. Finger it right. Finger it correctly. That's interesting sounds. I mean, you won't find those in every song, or maybe even in the chord book or whatever, but those are interesting sounds. My head likes that kind of thing. I mean, that was great about him, and he just made that chord up. And it either slipped through or slipped over everybody's heads, because no one's mentioned it before. I mean, no one mentioned it since, or I haven't heard any talk of it. And then of course in Third Step from the Sun, he does also play. Pentatonic as all the open strings, and then does a dive bomb. In a song called Our Experience. Let's see if I can get that one, if I even know what that one is. Oh yeah, rhythm thing is cool on Our Experience. Let me get enough side so you can hear me. like I kind of lost it for a second there and I missed one of them because I was listening to myself instead of trying to play. When the music's, I gotta focus on playing it, not just hearing it. But I like that pattern. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3. Just remember that. I don't know how he came up with that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3. Never any 4s or 2s. It's 3s and 5s. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3. And he was the god of doing that. I don't know how he did it. He just basically his left hand doing nothing, maybe muting, maybe just playing with the chord, maybe just doing whatever. But the right hand was his rhythmic machine, and for him it was his left hand because he was left-handed. So I shouldn't even say right hand; I should say picking hand. It's really, I like that, and I think either people miss it or it goes over their head or whatever because they concentrate. I don't know what. I mean, maybe I'm speaking for too many people, but. It's not just his lead and how maybe he was a great lead player and maybe he was just rhythmically he was just really awesome and he once said it's a world to lead guitar players but the rhythm is the key and his rhythm was in his picking hand and no one even he doesn't really announce it to anybody. He didn't go hey everybody look how I'm picking because he keeps the secrets to himself basically but that's a lot of his sound. Picking hand like a drum. I mean, it was really brilliant. You know, I thought that was great. Anyway, I still think it's great. Can I say anything else? How am I doing on time? I'm just under an hour. I may not make an hour and a half, but we'll see what I can do. I'll see what happens. My pickup, my strings are getting caught into this pickup here sometimes, but that's cool. What else? I'm gonna do him justice here, so let me think. Okay. I want to talk for a second. Jimmie, he had really big hands. Someone said that his hands could have been stitched onto someone a foot taller than him, and he would have looked normal. His hands were really big, and he uses his thumb a lot for, playing notes, and we all do that. To me, you hardly played guitar if you don't do that. But whatever, I do it a lot too. He would even use a thumb for a bar chord instead of using the finger. That's not as easy. That's not. I mean, of course, it's not easy. It's Jimi Hendrix. Or he'd play a chord like this, one of his favorite chords. He'd play this chord a lot. Right here. Call it the Castles Made of Sand chord. I don't know that song yet, but I'm going to learn it one of these days. All I want to have it done yet is Love of Confusion. He does his thumb. Let me see. Would that be a thumb thing? Yeah, he does it like in Um, some of these I'm not even. Some Prince was a great musician, of course. And once he said, he was asked if he ever compares himself to Jimi Hendrix, and he basically said, um, "I'm not. It would be a pity to try that." I mean, even Prince said it would be a pity to even try to sound like Jimi Hendrix. So I'm probably being a pity here tonight, but I'm just doing my little thing and trying to do him justice and do his birthday, and at least at the very least, I feel what I'm saying. I mean, this guy was really great. Do I have anything else? Where else do I want to go with this? I haven't done Star Spangled Banner yet. Let me do that before I end. Let's see. What else can I say about him? Famously don't do that song, but it's got some good. I like it. It's based on F sharp 7 sharp 9, which is basically another way of saying F sharp dominant 7th combined with F sharp minor 7th at the same time, but they say F sharp 7th, which is an F sharp dominant chord, then sharp 9, which means it has the minor third, in this case A flat or G sharp, added to the dominant. I know what I could say. Added to the dominant 7th chord, making it a dominant 7th sharp 9, and this is F sharp. It's an F sharp 7 sharp 9. That sounds like a bunch of mumble jumbo, but that's what it is. Do I want to? No. I might want to do some theory for a set before I go, and then do the Star Spangled Banner. How about that? That sounds right to me. I'm gonna do some theory of his note choices and things, and maybe even should I do rhythm theory? Let me think. I'll just do some theory about his music, and then I'm gonna do the Star Spangled Banner, and then I'll say good night. Okay? That sounds cool. And I should do theory. Should I do rhythm theory too? Let me think. Rhythm theory of him. I'm gonna mainly stick with just. I don't know. We'll see what I can do. We'll see what happens. I mentioned in one of my videos that I basically was talking about my own ideas of rock harmony, rock music theory, and I basically boiled it down to this analysis. And hopefully, bear with me if you can, because it may sound like drudgery. Let's pick the key of A for simplicity. Rock and roll scale theory basically is based starting on the blues. Okay, start there. And the blues is 3 chords, and all those 3 chords are dominant 7th chords, and the 3 chords are the 1, 4, and the 5. So in A blues, it would be A7. That's the 1 chord, 1 7th chord. Then the 4 chord is D. The 4 chord would be D dominant 7th. And the 5 chord would be E dominant 7th. And the 1 chord again is A dominant 7th. Okay, that's just A7. 7. All right. Now the theory is based on those three chords and the scales associated with them, but it gets tricky here. I'm gonna say that on each of those dominant 7th chords, which all have a major third in them, that you can play a scale that has a minor third in it. And that would be the next obvious choice would be a Dorian. So if I play A7, A dominant 7th with which directly would be supported by an A mixolydian, and I make a minor third in there, that would be A Dorian. And for some reason I'm not sure why, a minor third sounds good over a major harmony, and so therefore a minor third sounds good over a dominant 7th harmony, even though the verse is not true. A major third over a minor chord sounds bad, but a minor third over a dominant 7th or major chord sounds good. So basically, the theory is that you take those three 7th chords and make the third minor in all of them, giving you a Dorian mode in that based on that root, and then make the 3 modes that those imply over the original keynote, and those are the 3 modes that are most common in rock modes. So for A7, I would have the minor. That's the 1 chord. I would have a minor third in there, and that would imply A Dorian, and Dorian is the primary mode in rock and roll scale theory. The 4 chord is D7. You put a minor third in that, it would be F. You'd have an F note. It would be, and that F would make D Dorian. But if you have D Dorian in the key of A, that would be A Aeolian. And since we're starting in A, Aeolian is a second of the 3 main modes in rock harmony, because an A Aeolian implies a D Dorian, and a D Dorian can work over a D7 chord, and D7 is the 4 chord in a blues progression starting on A. Finally, the third thing to do is you take an E 7th chord and make the third minor in that. That would give you G. That G in your E dominant 7th chord would be E Dorian. But E Dorian and starting on A would give you A mixolydian, because A mixolydian implies E Dorian, and E Dorian is the scale that would be used to play an E7th dominant 7th chord with a minor third in place of the major third, giving you, so therefore the E dominant 7th becomes E Dorian, and E Dorian is A mixolydian. Therefore mixolydian is the third of the 3 main modes in rock harmony. So the 3 modes in rock harmony mainly are Dorian, Aeolian, and mixolydian, and that's where I get derive that that from that formula. That the Dorian comes from the 1 chord being with a minor third, so you would have one. In this case, A dominant 7th becomes A Dorian. That's your Dorian. D dominant 7th becomes D Dorian, which makes A Aeolian, and E dominant 7th makes E Dorian, which makes A mixolydian. Therefore, A Dorian, A Aeolian, and A mixolydian are the primary main modes in rock harmony. There's only 4 other modes, because there's only 7 total, and the 4 others you can tell. One way of looking at this also is that you can tell those 4 other modes aren't as rock and roll anyway. because Dorian, Aeolian, and Mixolydian are very rock and roll sounding. The other four, you have Ionian, which is basically major scale. Sounds too major and happy for rock and roll. You know, Cliffs of Dover is in major, but that's an anomaly basically. Some things are in major Ionian, but Rush uses a lot of Ionian, like in the Spirit of Radio and things like that, and La Villa Strangiato. I don't know, maybe the Trees or Xanadu, but that's not as common of a rock mode. Then you have Phrygian, which is more exotic than most rock and roll, and more Spanish sounding. It sounds flamenco or something, which isn't really the Western rock sound. Then you have Lydian, one of the other modes, and Lydian is too bright. It's too movie soundtrack sounding and too majestic sounding for rock usually. And the other mode, the only other seventh mode of the leftover is Locrian, and Locrian is too dark and too sinister even for rock, and really basically for any music basically. So basically my theory adds up. The set of the seven modes, the most rock and roll ones are Dorian, Aeolian, and Mixolydian. And one way I want to show in that, I want to show that in the theory wise in the song "Third Star from the Sun," that song basically uses, it's in E, it's in the key of E, but it uses E Dorian, E Mixolydian, and E Aeolian. Just check it out, it does. The main theme is E Mixolydian. That's straight E Mixolydian. But then when he does that's E Dorian, because the E minor pentatonic scale implies E Dorian. It's E Dorian. Also the part when he goes, that also implies E Dorian. So there's that. Then there's even E Aeolian in the part that goes. That part's E Aeolian because it has a C note. Right, sorry. That note right there, that C note, is a minor 6 in the key of E, so it makes it E Aeolian. So right there, my favorite song, Third Star from the Sun, uses E Mixolydian, E Dorian, and E Aeolian in the same song, the three primary rock modes, and a lot of harmony in rock and roll is based on that. I won't go into other artists that use it because I'm talking about Jimi Hendrix right now, but check it out in all music. It's there. Okay, so there's that. I could do some rhythm harmony, rhythm theory, but I think that doesn't sound specific enough to Jimi Hendrix right now. What else can I do? Then I said I wanted to do Star Spangled Banner before I stop. Have I done it? And then what I want to do? Someone said that he played the pickups. He didn't just play the guitar. He played every part of the guitar. He didn't just play the strings and the frets. He played the pickups. He was great. did that, and I didn't. I never learned that song. I just play it by how I think it should go. Interestingly enough, it's in 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That makes it interesting in the rock context because it's not usual to do that. Then again, manic depression is also in 3/4 time, but that's with a swing feel. Um, uh, uh, all 3/4 time, but it makes it interesting that it's a fast tempo. Plus, it's also got a swing feel. It's triplet feel in 3/4 time, not straight eighth. It's not. It makes it swing more like jazz and rock rather than straight. That sounds more waltzy, whereas the swung 3/4 time, and it's very interesting how he did that. I don't know if anyone's done that before, or maybe even since. Who knows? While I'm at it though, in 4/4 time, that's where most songs are. The same contrast between straight feel and triplet feel comes into play too. But that's just general rhythm theory. I don't know if I should go into that right now, but basically, if you're in 4/4 time, straight eighth would be swung would be that's very important different feels. So straight would be swung would be so there. Don't forget your rhythm theory in any music, but that includes Jimi Hendrix. And since we're talking about him, he was great at rhythm, and I just wanted to throw some of that rhythm stuff in there. All right, so I think I should say some final words, and it's not, we're not quite at an hour and a half, but what else do I have to say about him? I want to talk about his acrobatics. He was good at tricks. You know, he could pick with his teeth. He even commented that one day he would mimic that he lost his teeth. His teeth were falling out doing that. He would make a gag out of it, put false teeth in and have them come out because it really is hard on your teeth. And you really have to brush your teeth good if you're going to do that technique. And he brushed his teeth well, so he could do it without losing his teeth. It's really hard on your teeth. It grits them and grinds them and all kinds of stuff. So there's that. He played behind his head. I can do that too, but I don't know what I'm proving by doing that right now. But he could play behind his. I think he played behind his back. He played with under one leg, like standing on one leg, and under the other leg that he's not standing on. And of course, him burning the guitar. I mean, that was just really that gig. You know, I have it that I've been watching lately. The 67 American Landing. He gets up there. I like how he introduces it. He just says, we're going to play the combined English and American national anthem. So it gets people to think he's going to be a nerd and play something really stupid. It turned out to be a wild thing with the burning guitar thing. He mimicked having sex with the amp. You know, I won't say the F word, but and the guy behind him had to hold the amp up, and he did that during the song. He gets on his hands and knees and puts the guitar down and starts like doing stuff, and he puts lighter fluid on it, and he lights it on fire, and then he even makes it come up higher like with his hands, and he's still getting sound because it's still operating as a guitar. And then he lets it burn a while as he's conjuring up the fire. And then he just starts bashing the guitar all over the stage and breaking it all over the place, and then throwing the pieces into the audience. And Mitch Mitchell throws his sticks out in the audience, and it's like, and you see these pictures, these poor girls. I say poor, funny wives. They look like they're seeing a ghost or something. They didn't know what they're looking at. Never seen anything like it. I mean, and then I think it was what's his name? I could think of his name. Dave, what the introducing guy? I can't think, but one of the guys goes Hendrix. That's just the final, and that's the final announcing of it being over, and the people. You don't really see it in the concert, but you hear them talking afterwards. People were just running up and down the aisles. It was like pandemonium, to use the word. The guy, Dave Mason, he said Hendrix, and everyone's running up and down the aisles, screaming. Some of them, and it's just like they've just never seen anything like this. And someone said it showed all the music critics and anybody else watching that this guy was special, this guy was big, this guy was important, and we better see what he's going to do next. And he changed the world with guitar. And I think he burned another guitar in one other gig, and I don't know, a couple other people might have tried to burn guitars, but that's so Jimi Hendrix that no one's really tried it since. And and it's too bad you can't, because that's a really cool thing to do. But it would just be such a Hendrix ripoff, you couldn't do it. And that's so in fact, he was one of the two influences of Ingrid Malmsteen wanting to play guitar. The first was one of the, I don't know which was first, but one of them was watching Jimi Hendrix burn the guitar in Monterey, and Ingrid was like 7 or something when he saw that. And then he also saw a classical violinist, and it made him want to play classical. But when he saw Jimi Hendrix, he saw Jimi Hendrix and basically said, I wanted to burn the guitar, but to do that I had to play it first so I could get away with it. And so he started playing, and that's one of them. That's basically what started Ingrid Malmsteen playing guitar, was seeing Jimi. Part of it was seeing Jimi Hendrix burn the guitar, because he wanted to burn the guitar like Jimi Hendrix. So that's really cool. I don't mean to mention other guitarists, but that you can't get around Jimi Hendrix's influence. I mean, Kirk Hammett from Metallica basically says he's never seen anyone do, no one's ever done anything as important or been as important as Jimi Hendrix was in music. I don't know. I mean, how much can you say? I'm almost at an hour and a half. Not quite. Someone wanted me to go an hour and a half. But anyway, very cool. Well, one of the ironies, his girlfriend, Faye, or Fane, I forget what her last name is, if I even knew it. If Jimi Hendrix wouldn't have gone to London, he might have been plunking around for years in America and never made it. So don't forget that. Don't forget to don't underestimate the power of luck and things or the universe working things out, because the universe just worked it out so that he would get to be Jimi Hendrix. So he had to go to London first, England, and because that's how he got started and signed, and then he came back and played, and it was great. I didn't go an hour and a half, but I just want to say happy birthday, Jimi Hendrix. Love you guys. Peace, rock and roll.